All right, everyone, let's welcome Chris Do on the stage, everyone. All right. All right. I forgot about that. Yeah, a little delay. We just rehearsed, and I was like, whoa, what is that? Awesome. Okay, well, let's set the stage. Yes. Chris, you want to share a little bit of set the expectations, and then we'll kick off.
Yeah. Okay, so I was talking to Mark Busse earlier. Where's Mark? Mark. He's over here. Busse, sorry. Hey. My bad. All right, so whenever I do workshops and talks, I keep asking myself, is this what people really want to do in a live interactive space? And oftentimes the feedback that I get is it's most interesting when we have meaningful dialogue where we try to find some higher truth. And I've got some ideas, but I really want this to be about what you want to talk about. And so I wanted to check in with everybody before we get started here, is can we agree that this is a space where we can communicate directly, clearly, and honestly with each other? Can we agree? Yeah? Okay, well, that's wonderful. I like that. That's basically what I say so I can rip into people. All I have to say, I was being really clear and direct with you. But this is wonderful. Okay, so it is titled Branding in the Age of AI. And I think there's some thoughts on that, Josh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, everywhere is AI, and I think it'd just be good to talk about like the context of that. I think we're just super overwhelmed with catching up with the new updates and everything like that. AI is here to say the hype is crazier than ever. We feel this need to catch up and also use all the tools, but then it starts to lose like our human side, our inauthentic, like we start to get inauthentic. And so I would say opening up, like how do we evolve and adapt without losing ourselves? I think that's a good starting question, because AI is rewriting the whole rules, right? So yeah, how do we evolve in that?
Do you guys feel that that's true? Do you feel the threat of AI? Our overlords? No? Everybody's cool? How many people are using AI on a daily basis? Okay, well, it's here. I know the word hype is used to talk about lots of things. I don't think this is hype, this is reality. That humankind has embarked on a different journey, creating a technology that may very well replace us. And we've watched science fiction movies about this as far as I can remember, talking about Skynet, and maybe this is it. This is the beginning of the end. My joke to all of that is let's enjoy the ride before it ends. Because if you can stop it, stop it. If you can't, why worry about it? So focus on the things that you can control. And since we're talking about AI generated content and the threat of AI and potentially replacing people, I just want to share something with you. I don't know if you saw this about a week ago. YouTube said they're going to demonetize AI generated content. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. So if you're using AI generated scripts and AI voice and AI people, not to use AI things to support you in B-roll, but AI is the main thing, then they're going to demonetize. And I think this is fantastic news because it's obvious. Because there are kids somewhere in the world that are cranking out 30, 50 videos a day that are faceless and soulless. And what's happening is the search algorithm can't handle it. So when you're trying to find a video made by a human who speaks about their own experience, you're going to get bombarded by AI news-generated clips. And it's not apparent at first, but when you're watching it, you could feel it, because it's speaking in a way that humans don't speak. And the reason why this is important is because all these, I just assume, kids somewhere in the world will have no more reason to make 50 videos a day. And I don't think I'm going on a limb here. What YouTube does, other platforms will do, because it's becoming harder and harder to find good content. So I think this is fantastic news. So I think whenever we're between the threshold of the old world and the new world, there's a period of discomfort, of the unknown, and I think we're in that valley right now. But rest assured, I think the technology that is used to potentially replace you, new technology will be used to combat that technology. So it's the war of the robots that's happening. And as Josh and I were talking about this in terms of your personal brand and how you stand out in the world, I don't think we have that much to worry about. In fact, I think what's happening is with all this AI generated content, it's driving people like you all to seek out human-to-human interaction with an authentic, flawed, imperfect, perfectly imperfect person. And so that's why you're going to see more things from us where we're going to spend time with you. Because I think the magic happens in this friction between what you think currently and maybe the new version of you, and I want to expose that through heat and a little bit of pressure. Yeah? Okay. So should we jump into some other things?
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down too.
We fielded some of the questions that you guys came in, so we want to make sure you address. And we're going to open up for a Q&A after, so make sure you prep some of the questions ahead of time. I think right now, I just want to say that like AI, it amplifies our voice. It's like a megaphone to who we really are, right? And so I think that this is why it's contributing to like the noise out there. And so I think what we really need to do now is to be more responsible to what we put out, and just to be more tasteful, more curated, more thoughtful. So I would say some of the people are asking, how do I be original and authentic while we're all using AI? Because AI is all kind of synthetic generated. How do we maintain the originality, our authentic selves?
Is anybody here feeling that question in your soul? Some of you are nodding? Okay. I always wonder about this. If there was a way that you can steal money from a bank and not get caught, would you do it? I like some honesty. We won't point it out, but it was in this general direction. Yes. So it's like, is it laws that keep you from not committing unethical things or committing crimes? I think there's more to it than just that. So whenever I hear that question like that, I want to examine the question before I give an answer. So the way I hear it is, how do I stay authentic while using AI? Was your intention to be authentic? Then you don't really have to try, you just be. And so what I think is happening is, it's so tempting to take shortcuts and hacks and supercharge a workflow. Maybe some of you never wanted to make content in the first place or to do anything that builds thought leadership, and now you see some magic lamp and you want to go for that. And maybe that's why you're asking this question. I'm not threatened by AI. I don't feel any more or less inauthentic or authentic than I did before, because I try to do what I think is my primary job, is to be the meest me I can be. And if you do that, what's the problem? So I think underneath that question is another question. What do you think that question might be, Josh? Am I good enough? Are you good enough? So why are you asking that question?
Somebody asked that question.
What does that mean, am I good enough?
You might have
Check.
be successful without using AI.
Okay, so what happens if we just remove AI from the equation? Did that problem exist before AI came about? Because AI has been like super prescient in the last 3 years, right? Okay, so did we have this question before? And are you a creative person? You can say yes. Yes, you are. Everybody here is creative. I think the affliction that creative people have is that they're full of insecurity and self-doubt. It doesn't matter. It could be Twinkies, and it's like, will I be replaced by Twinkies? It doesn't matter. It's because there's this part of us that needs, unfortunately, the validation from others that we're good enough. And that's one of the biggest problems that we're trying to deal with, you know? And it starts off really innocently, like your parents saying, I'm proud of you, I approve, this is good. And then you're just transferring that seeking of approval from your parents to somebody else. Unfortunately, strangers online. So I think before we can really answer that question, we have to be able to look in the mirror and say, I am good enough. And you have to be able to believe that. And if you aren't good enough, make a plan as to what you need to do so that you can answer that question, be confident that you're speaking the truth and not being self-delusional. Is that okay? Okay. Who else wants to fight me on this? Or have a spirited conversation, I should say. So I'm going to repeat that for everyone else to hear, okay? What she's saying is AI makes you more of you. So if you're good and you have a head start and you have a great portfolio and you're getting great clients, it means they're going to eat all our lunches. And if you're not at that stage, how do you catch up? How do you close that gap? Is that the essence of the question? Okay. May I assume then that you're in that gap or not leading it? Oh, you're leading it. Are you leading it? I'm not convinced. You know why? Don't open your mouth at me. No, because you said yes. It's the way that you said that. Okay, you guys understand the question? How do you bridge the gap between good enough? So you're just getting started. I don't know about you, but when I got started, I put in a lot of time, effort, and energy and didn't expect miraculous results right away. Right? It takes time and consistency and perseverance to learn something. And if we remove it from what we're doing, we say like, okay, I'm not saying this is a what if. I don't know how to dance. I do not expect to take a lesson and be great at dancing. And you know, my wife is learning how to dance, like hip hop and all this kind of stuff. She's getting better, but she's not that good yet. And she's going every single week for months. So I'm thinking one day when she's practicing in front of the mirror, I'm not going to recognize this person because she's going to get really good. Here's the weird thing. We only recognize people when they get good. What we don't know is they've been practicing in the darkness for a really long time, right? And so I get to face a lot of criticism because people just see me one day and like, this guy doesn't know anything. What has he done? I bet you can't even close a client. What they don't know is 15 years I'm teaching at a private art school. And then for 22 years, I'm running a business. But they don't know. So I don't care either way. And so I think there's this false expectation that you can get good at something that's difficult in a very short amount of time. Now, AI is such a technology that it's super disruptive. And we use that term a little loosely. This is real. It's going to wipe out jobs. It's going to create new ones. And the question is, if you're getting started, my interpretation, my frame on that is I'm really excited because it stripped away a lot of the production monkey work that I used to have to do.
But don't you think that's like foundational?
Monkey work? I don't think so. Let's have it. This is great. This is awesome. I would love to have a spirited conversation about this, okay? Is monkey work foundational necessary? Yes or no?
Yes. 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 I'm with you. It's not. I'm with you.
Okay, here's my theory on this, okay? Here's my theory. If you've done lead typesetting, then that's difficult. So when photo typesetting came by, I'm like, nah, that's cheating. It's happening too fast. But photo typesetting wipes out lead typesetting. Like the term leading comes from pieces of lead to space out lines of type. And then the desktop publishing thing comes in, and then the photo typesetting people are like, nah, that's cheating. But the people who came up with desktop publishing is like, adapt or die. Yeah? So it just depends on what side of the knife you're on. One side is cool, the other side is very threatening. I don't believe that anybody, especially the human mind, was not designed to do monkey work. Boring, repetitive, non-skilled work. Like, has anybody done rotoscoping? There's an art to it, but it sucks. It's fun for you?
Yeah.
Okay, you like that. You're probably meditating on it, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah, but now it's stupid monkey work, but back then it was hot. I've never liked rotoscoping, but it's necessary to do. Painstaking, frame by frame, cutting out things because they didn't shoot it properly. That's why. Right? So I think the old school always wants you to suffer so that you can earn the right to be there. I find that problematic. Right? Like, you don't go and walk 3 miles to get a pail of water so you can drink. You don't make a fire and cut down wood so that you can have a hot bath. So I always find that whatever perspective and timeline you're in, that always seems to be what's fair and right. Whatever's new seems like it's cheating and taking shortcuts. It's always that way. When I was going to art school, every class would say, oh, that class is coming up. They don't have heart. They want to take shortcuts. And I keep asking older generations, they say the exact same thing every single time. So I don't think it's necessary to do monkey work. So let's talk about the people who's like, yes, it's necessary. You must struggle. You must do work that was not made for humans to do.
Well, I think you learn foundational things like
Like what?
I don't know, basic UX principles. Yeah, color.
But that's not monkey work.
And
That's not monkey work either.
I think it allows it to become ingrained, like it's a practice.
Okay, over here.
The issue at hand is that what monkey work is changing, and what is human work, what we have left as uniquely ours, we don't really know what's left, right?
Okay, let's talk about that then. What is the work that creative humans can do that is left for us to do? That's a better question, right? When I was 16 years old, I worked at a warehouse, and I was a stock boy. I didn't do that for very long before I started to think, is this what humans were meant to do? So I quit that job, and I got another job doing menial work that didn't challenge my creativity or my mind. And I'm not casting judgment on anybody that has to do blue-collar work, but I just think, especially right now, you don't want to do a job a machine can do better and faster than you. And if you're in that space, let's use our imagination to design a different future and then pursue that. But I think what happens is we only know what we know, so we cling on to that, and we hold on so tight, even when it's not good. It's the same thing that goes for people who work in coal mines with black lung. But they're like, this is what I know. But you could do much more. So let's get into the definition of monkey work. I think anything that's boring, repetitive, a thing that a machine should be doing and not tapping into your creativity and your imagination, I would call monkey work. Now, everybody can have a different definition and a sliding scale, and that's totally cool, right? I do monkey work. I rotoscope hair, and I paint things out of Photoshop so I can have a nice slide. A machine will do that for me soon. I could talk about that.
And I think there's a lot of value in that, and I think that's kind of what we're circling around trying to identify. For sure, there is the kind of work that is not creative, feels like it has no value, can be replaced, and maybe, doesn't really build the skills that we all want to build, and is really worth questioning, why are we doing it when something else can replace that? But then, what is the work that appears like monkey work, but has this deep value that has to be embodied and experienced long enough for the process itself to work us, to bring us to the next level of understanding, insight, and creativity?
24 hours ago, I was fishing in the ocean. My brain is not at full capacity right now. I agreed with you at the beginning. I could not follow all of what you said. But let me first double click on what you just said, okay? On what parts I agree with. I believe that the new luxury is the ability to do something slow. And the new luxury is the ability to afford things that were made by a human that took a really long time to do. I believe that if people are wealthy and they know that a machine 3D printed something versus an artisan crafting a fine object, that will be more valuable. But that's to the people who can afford that. The masses will go for what's cheaper. So I think there's a place for this. Like even what I would consider monkey work, like somebody like banging out a hubcap or something out of metal and just doing it over and over again. What's happening is they're transitioning away from their primary source of income, doing that thing, into being a media person who does that thing. They will make more money and feel, I think, more fulfilled just by doing that thing on a video. I'll give you some examples. Totally blue-collar work. Guys who clean rugs. You've seen those videos, ASMR? They are so freaking satisfying. They drag out this nasty-ass rug that's dark, dark brown. I don't know what it's gone through. And eventually, there's like Mickey Mouse on it. And I just watch those videos over and over again. And they're so gratifying. People who mow lawns, who edge trim, they're making probably $10 an hour mowing that lawn. But that thing has 700,000 views. So I think there's this place where now we will tune in to watch real people doing really boring things really well. And that's how they'll make money. Now, let's get back to, can you just say the second half of what you said in the shortest way possible? Because my brain is not working at full capacity right now.
The embodiment piece of repetitive tasks, the parts that have value we don't want to leave behind, and discerning which is monkey work and doesn't have value, and which is actually really valuable to stay with when it feels like monkey work. Is the discernment is super important as we move forward into a place where almost everything can be replaced. And a lot of that has to do with being in our bodies.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue that.
I would say micro variation is built by monkey words.
Micro variation?
Micro variation.
Okay.
We're gonna try, and we're gonna understand, and we're
Okay.
gonna make the variation.
No argument. He said micro variations happen when you do repetitive things.
And if we think about the systems, for having a kind of organic mindsets, we need that to develop an organic mindset.
Yeah.
To have being innovative, to be creative, to get into that dopaminic loop of joy, but not drawn into it.
Okay, I accept that. What I want to do, with your permission, is maybe move this conversation to a slightly different place. Because as much as you may want to debate me on AI and monkey work, maybe that's not a good use of a term. I'd like to have this conversation be something where I can speak to, where I can share some things so that you can grow and learn and perhaps do something different. That's all.
Can you give us some examples of the best way to make sure that we protect our craft while using AI?
What is your path?
Just the creative piece of work. So your branding. Tell me how to use AI the right way, or how to, I don't know, use it in a way that lets us grow.
That's like 4 questions in one. Can I get the whiteboard up here, please? I'm having a hard time mapping all the very nuanced questions. Of the 4 questions you asked, can you prioritize the top one, please?
What would you say is the best way to utilize AI to grow our craft?
Okay, how do you use AI to grow your craft? The question is, what is your craft? If it's woodworking, probably not.
Design, UX, product design.
Okay. What do you think is the most important thing about UX design for you?
End experience. The end experience for the user experience.
What kind of decisions do you make as a human being that can take a poor UX experience and end result, that the decisions that you're making? Do you know? What are the top 3 things that you as a human are doing to take it from bad to great?
I think establishing what the problem is.
Okay. Have you thought about this much before?
How to use AI? No.
The decisions you make when you look at something not good, and you make it better. As it relates to UX. You guys understand the question? Okay.
I mean, I go through a process of
Tell me the top 3 things.
talking to our end users, understanding what the issue is.
Okay, so can we say what's the problem?
Yep.
Okay, great. What's the problem? Okay, what's the next thing?
Defining a hypothesis on how to fix it.
Okay, hypothesis.
Discovery.
How many steps are there?
5.
Okay. What's 3?
Iteration.
Iteration? Are you going on Google? Are you going on Google looking up UX principles? 5 steps. I've seen that graph, by the way. It's like a circle, Research, hypothesis, test, iterate.
Explore, iteration,
Yeah, so
testing.
okay, so the answer to your question, there's a meme already available. Okay, here's what we do, okay? And thank you for asking this question. This is actually much more productive for me to talk about, I think, okay? It's very important for you to understand your process, okay? It really, really is important. And for you to understand it, to document it, to communicate this to the world. This is my first quote from Blair Enns for tonight. It won't be the last, which is, low variation in process equals low variation in outcomes. Clients don't buy what you do, they buy the outcome that you provide to them. So when somebody's like, what do you do, how do you do it? You should be able to look, there it is. I've thought about the things I think about. This is my process. This is my 11 herbs and spices. That's it. This is very important. Now, most of us do not have the level of self-awareness and the vocabulary to be able to discern this, or we make it too complicated. This is good news for all of you, okay? I have not done this, but the theory is it will work, okay? The next time you work, UX, typography, you're doing coding, record everything that you're doing on Loom or something, okay? While you're recording, talk through the decisions you're making. If you record enough of these and you feed it to a machine, you can ask it, what is my 5-step process? Explain to me what it is that I'm doing. That's a good use of AI. not to tell you what to think, but to tell you how you thought. Okay, so is that okay, everybody? And then once you know your process, and it's going to give it to you kind of probably in matter-of-fact language, then you can say, based on what you know about me, and you can talk to it for hours, what is my tone of voice? Okay, I wouldn't say it like that. This is a very simple script or prompt. It needs to be much more complicated than that. And then say, well, take those 5 things and suggest ways of phrasing that I can own that's consistent with how I show up in the world. And show me 3 examples from mild, medium to spicy. And then you'll figure it out. And then you say, I want more mild or more spicy. And you keep working with it. Because I think the machine is really smart, but it's designed to give you middle-of-the-road answers. That's why when you have the Goldilocks thing, like too hot, too cold, just right, it helps you to figure it out. Like, I like option A, and I'll tell you why. Give me more versions of that. And if it gives you the wrong thing, tell it that's not what I was looking for. Let me redirect. And you would do that. So I think the best people who are going to be probably the most innovative in using AI in our space are the ones who are like really good teachers. Teachers present a problem, and they test or they score the results. Most of us, what we do is we don't tell it a good problem to solve, and we just take the result and we run. This is why there's so much garbage on LinkedIn. There really is. When I read it, what's that smell? It smells like AI. Because humans don't write like that. So you know what? I have a general rule when I write. I write without editing. And I didn't even correct it, I just hit post. Grammar, spelling mistakes, misquotes, all of it. Because I like that first raw expression. And believe it or not, people like it too. And you know what? The grammar police, they stop coming out after you. Because they know it's a human now. And we would rather have you say it with grammar and spelling mistakes than for an AI machine to pump it out. And I just wonder this too. You guys see how many auto comments on LinkedIn are AI generated? That's insulting to me. Because you're saying, I'd like to have a human relationship with you to show you that I show up by using AI because I'm not here. Do you think I'm that dumb? Why would you do that? Because, then the answer is obvious, it's easy to do. I think if it's easy to do, you shouldn't be doing it. Leave it for something else. Okay? Do the hard work. All right, who's got the next question?
I find that when you're talking to clients or employers, the problem with the AI right now, people are very bad at using AI, and they think they can do things better than you using AI, but they don't know they're bad at it. Like copy, marketing. What's the playbook that you found to help clients understand that they're terrible and they need your help?
I love that. Because that's the same argument as I have a cousin who could do this. I said, go ahead. You are not my customer. The problem that we all think is when somebody has a pulse, they're our customer, and they're not. Because we have no filters to determine if somebody's a good fit for us, so everybody looks like a good fit. Okay? There's this expression, how you do something is how you do everything. Okay? And this works for you too. Okay? Because there's this logical symmetry that we're trying to, like, we want to be consistent, right? So if someone's trying to set you up with a date, and they're like, who would you like to date? You're like, anybody. Well, you will get just about anybody. But if you're like, you know what, I've been thinking about this a lot, and this person looks like this, has this kind of occupation, has this weird sense of humor, and likes this cartoon, that's who I'm looking for. The likelihood that you'll find that person is much higher once you have clarity on that. That makes a lot of sense. This works with clients too. We're so afraid of not getting the next opportunity that we default into this sloppy, I have no standards. So we'll take anybody. And when that person comes into our sphere, we will waste all of our time and energy, our goodwill, our patience, our kindness, our generosity on the wrong person. So there's a very simple thing that you can do. All of you can do the exact same thing. Ask yourself, what are the 3 things that I'm going to use to see if this person is even a good fit for me? And then raise the gates, build the moats. You know, in my DM are probably, no exaggeration, 100 people who want to do a call with me. I don't even know what for. So when they're like, hey, can we jump on a call? I said, what for? I'm not trying to be rude, I'm being direct. What for? Why do you think this is a benefit to me to get on a call with you? I'm very protective of my time. And most of them can't give an answer, then I move on. In fact, I probably should build an AI robot to ask that for me, because that's not something that is where I want to spend my energy. Does that make sense? That could work, sorry. Next question, go ahead.
So in the age of AI, people can do more. So it allowed like good designers to accommodate more projects and requests because we can move faster. And with that, on the alternative side of things, there's now less desire or less demand for design because more people can, like a smaller group of people can accommodate more tasks, more work, and then also the speed of it. I'm curious what your thoughts are to what new designers can do to penetrate the market now that the expectation is to move fast and also there's more opportunities to work with really good people. So like kind of like how can they enter a market where like it requires patience because they need to learn and also to grow as a designer themselves?
Okay, for the rest of the night, can I make one simple request? Can you just make your questions shorter? When you do a contextual thing at the front, here's what happens to you. If the context that you provide, the assumptions that you make, I don't believe, we'll never get to your question because I'll debate that part first. You're like, this must be true, this must be true, this must be true, and my question is this. If any one of those three things aren't true, I won't answer a question. Because I don't want to give, there's no such thing as the right answer to the wrong question, and it's built on a house of inaccurate, illogical things, then I'm going to move away from it, okay? So, your question is, if you're a new designer, how can you get better?
Or how do you penetrate the market?
Such a violent term. How do you penetrate the market? Okay. Are there a lot of new designers here? Because a lot of the, I know, student gallery over here, I know who you are, but they're not even asking questions, they're too scared.
Hands up for designers.
I mean, like, the new designers, man, okay. I think right now, there are two things, or maybe three things you got to figure out. And it's not that easy to do, but I think it's worthwhile. When the machine can do anything you can imagine, then the things that you know about matter a lot more than they used to. So I think there's something that's really funny that people who study like liberal arts, pretty much a useless degree, sorry, with a job that can't, with skills that won't help you, so you go to plan B and you do some other job. In the age of AI, people who study history and understand English and literature and are able to articulate their ideas will be the new power users, right? So all the old gray hairs that have been in design, they have a sense of history. They're like, have you read this book? Do you know this designer? Do you know where that style comes from? And most of the young designers are like, huh? That's not on Behance. It's true. There's this thing, it's called the library. And it hasn't been all digitized just yet. So I think this becomes much more important. And the part to this, I think it's going to be hard to swallow because I'm not sure taste is something that can be taught. I'm not sure yet. I believe it is because I want to believe that everything can be taught, but I'm not 100% sure. So back to your thing, I want to fold your question back in. If your client is saying, I could do it just as easily with AI, well, God bless you, go do that. And if you ever think that that's not working out for you, let's talk. But it's going to cost this much. So I think a lot of times when you hear things like that, it's the same as my kid can do it, I got a cousin, why does it cost so much? They're all negotiation tactics. It's not real. Why would I get on the phone with you to schedule something that's so important to me, my time, only to tell you I don't need to talk to you? Does that even make sense? So the best thing you can do when a client brings that up is just to agree. I'm sure GPT can give you killer copy without the sarcasm I usually deliver. I'm sure. Why are we talking then? Is there anything that you don't think you're doing well that you need help with that the machine can't do for you, right? Now I know this too, because there are a lot of people who do AI-generated imagery. They're not all the same. You can bring 10 people in and get wildly different results. Some with taste, some who understand the complexity of the problem, and somebody who can get really nuanced. That's not even the same. So go ahead, right? Okay.
Next question's behind you.
Now, did I answer your question? Were you listening to me? Study your history. Learn to articulate your ideas. Learn to ask better questions. And hopefully expose yourself to really beautiful, amazing aesthetic things. Does that make sense? Now, on a personal note, I'm going to tell you something. I grew up in Northern California in the Valley. I don't want to say that it's a cultural waste zone, but I wasn't very sophisticated in my sense of design, history, and architecture and fashion. So when I went to Art Center, I was surrounded with Europeans who live in art and history, and I felt very much behind. And I felt like I had really bad taste. And I was determined to fix that. So while people were riding ahead with whatever advantages they had, I just went to the library. And being a person not of means, I couldn't afford the magazines because those magazines are very expensive. I would just sit there and grab every year and sit down and just go through it. Eventually you start to look at automotive design, you start to understand the visual language. Then you move on to photography and cinematography. I just kept doing that again and again for the years in which I was in school. When I got out of school, I used all of my money to buy magazines and books. And it just annoyed my wife because the collection was getting bigger and bigger. And I would subscribe to all the advertising conceptual magazines, just watch and watch and watch. Interior design, Elle Decor UK, just go over eternity, just go over and over and over again. And you don't know where it's gonna go. But then eventually, some years later, you need to design an exhibition. And you can reference designers and aesthetics and periods that match the problem. For now, before the Neuralink comes into play, you can't do this any other way but to do the work. So everybody, I think, is asking these questions because they just want to do the work. Do the work. So you know what I want to do? If I were to train somebody, and I'm working on it right now, I'm like, I have 2,000 magazines. Look at all of them. Cut out the things that you think are good so I can see where you're at. And I'll tell you why it's good or why I don't think it's good. And eventually, I think they might develop taste. My son's here, he's over here. And when we were traveling, right, throughout the world, I would look up and down and sideways and say, look at the column, look at the texture, look at the glass, look at the lights, and we would talk about it. And then my son would say, Dad, those materials don't belong together, huh? I'm like, exactly. His eye's been trained. And it can happen. So this is a questionable thing, like can it be taught or not? I don't know. Like you could buy fashion, but you can't buy style? Maybe. Did I answer your question? He's gonna say yes, I know. He's like, please, no more. Okay. Where are we moving to? Right? Where are you? Right here. Oh, right here. Right. Oh, I thought this guy's being creepy. Go ahead.
Not like you, I don't consider AI-generated content anywhere garbage. I consider it time savior. Because I go somewhere to learn something, you know?
Remember, context, question, get to the question.
I mean, there is so many people generating contents and like write so many things with like AI, send it to me over the message. I really want something more enriched in detail rather than just like 3-4 verses, like couldn't find anything in it. You know?
Fred, what is your question?
I said, not like you, I don't consider any generated content as garbage because you consider there's LinkedIn and Universe full of garbage. I say I prefer to have more information rather than just soulful message. You know, for the soulful message, I'm looking forward to go to some other like platforms.
Fantastic.
No, but the question is this: why is
okay?
it
Here's what. Hold on.
Why you consider it garbage?
Hold on. We have an agreement, right? Yes. We're going to be clear and direct with each other, and I'm trying my best. Okay? Just ask the question.
This is my normal problem. I use AI to make it like
pause.
in line.
Pause. We're going to take the mic from you. I'm going to get violent. Okay, so what is the question for you?
I want more information. I need more information. Is it considered garbage? If people share more information using AI, is it garbage?
Okay, well this will be our last attempt. A question begins with what, when, where, why, how. Can you reframe what you want to ask in one of those things, please?
Say why you consider it unvaluable. Is it really because it's generated by a machine, or
Would I consider
some
what?
people? I look for more information. If I have AI giving me more information, why I shouldn't go with someone who is generating the contents with AI?
Let's cut the mic. I've tried so much, my friend. I really did. I think he was asking, do I find AI-generated content valuable? Is that what he was asking? Is that what you're asking? Why didn't you say that?
That's my problem.
Okay, well, hold on to that. Well, you could have asked that question, like, Chris, how do I solve this problem that I can't get a question out? And we can help you.
You know, normally for someone
Yeah.
like living in different places,
Yeah.
using verses is so hard. So I often use AI for fixing it
Oh, perfect.
to the people.
I love that.
You consider this one also unvaluable, or I don't understand.
Okay, I'm going to answer that question. He wants my opinion about what he thinks is valuable. Make sense?
Yeah.
Who cares what I think? If you find it to be valuable, you should do it.
I mean, if people are using it for like making things better, why it's bad?
It's not bad. I am just one guy with a microphone and an opinion. Who cares what I think? I'm being dead serious with you. If it works for you and you're learning and you're growing, God bless you. Go do more of that. I'm not ruler of the world. I don't even hire people, so who cares? Who cares what I think? Right? Do you care what I think?
Yeah, I really needed to get the new person.
Okay, all right. Why don't we talk afterwards, and I'll tell you what I really think. Cool? Okay, thank you.
Please keep your questions brief.
Look what you did to Josh. He's a very kind man. Now his tone has changed. You see? He's not.
An hour left. We want to address all your questions, so please keep it brief.
Yeah, we can address all their questions in 1 hour. It's possible. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, how's it going? Should we suppress the fact that we use AI as a creative?
Like hide it?
Yes.
This question is problematic because this question is a yes or no. It will not give you much. It won't give you much clarity. So, generally, when we ask the question, we shouldn't make it binary, because I'll give you my answer, and the answer is no. I love radical transparency. When you hide something, okay, you're always going to feel like somebody's going to find out, right?
Yeah.
And the only way you get past that, you just tell people this is what I'm doing.
So should we be careful about the way we present, the way we use AI as a creative?
Okay, are you generally a careful person?
Yeah.
Then do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you're a careless person, then maybe you should be more careful. I'm just a logical person. Yeah?
My brand is careful, so I will.
Because you are careful.
Because I am careful.
Then we don't need to ask this question. Be careful.
That's the answer.
It is.
That's a good. Thanks for the answer.
Well, I got a lot of answers like that, let me tell you.
My question is, I would like to know what you are most excited about right now with regards to AI.
Wow. I like the fact that a very small, nimble group of people, when using it the right way, can act as a 100-person agency. And I'll tell you something. I'm going to tell you one practical application. I actually have a drawing of it over here, but who cares? All right? When I record videos or workshops like this, it's a high demand on a person's time and attention, because they're going to have to sit there and slog through an hour and a half or 3 hours. And people just don't have that kind of free time. So in the old world, tough luck. In the new world, I have my friend Dave, who writes incredible prompts. I said, Dave, help me do like really high-level summary notes with tools and frameworks from this. And Dave's like, it's done. And he giggles, here it is. And in my inbox, I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. And if I don't like it, I tell Dave, this isn't working for me. I'll tell you why. He goes, Chris, don't. Let's get on a Zoom call. Get on a Zoom call. It's recorded. I tell him what I don't like about it. He asks a few more questions. He said it'll be done in 2 minutes. He took the transcript from the call and said, listen to Chris's feedback and change what you've done. In 2 iterations, he's really close to the bullseye. Close enough that I think we're good. So what we can do when we create a piece of content that is of your mind and your beliefs and your experience, now is the time to use AI. Make me a cheat sheet. Make me like a really detailed summary. Make me a Cliff Notes version. Make a workbook out of this. Make me 300 Instagram posts based on these ideas. Or tell me what the best ideas are based on the audience I hope to serve. Rewrite that headline. So this is where I love AI. It's dependent on one very crucial, critical thing. I don't want to gloss over this. That the thing that you record is actually good. That's the problem. Because like, I got a plan. That's the problem. They will lie to you. You'll join AI communities, AI coaches. But what they won't tell you is your thing actually has to be good. Yes? You know, Gary Vaynerchuk has this, like how he makes 1,000 pieces of content. It's called pillar content, where he just spouts out whatever he thinks, and then they start chopping that stuff up. Well, Gary has a gift at saying things that get people's attention. And this is a skill you all should have. This goes back to English and writing, is phraseology. The same people, two people will have the same idea, but one's just better at saying it. People listen to that person. Like if somebody used too many words, they'll listen to the other person. Somebody was a little confusing, they'll listen to a clear person. So, you know, when you were paying attention in English class, it's going to be a problem. Okay? The skill of rhetoric, to be a persuasive speaker and a communicator, you know, we've lost that art. So now I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask a follow-up if you'd like. If you're good, then we're good. Okay. I thought you were going to ask me how do I make really good content, but that's good. Okay. I'm sorry. We're over here. Where are we?
Hi. I'll try to keep my question quick, but I need to give you a little bit of context.
Of course you do.
I've been working in the same place for over 10 years, and I want to build a brand for myself. And now if I want to, like, you know, look elsewhere for opportunity, I need to integrate AI somehow in my personal branding, on my portfolio or whatnot. I find it a little bit unethical to put AI in your portfolio. Do you think it's something that needs to be in a personal portfolio, or just keep it kind of like, oh, it's just your work, and try to keep that separate?
I think your question has 3 assumptions in it, at least 3. I don't agree with all 3. Let's tackle it one at a time. Remember I told you don't do this, but people just don't listen to me anyways, but okay, it's fine. No, it's okay, you don't have to be sorry. You do you. Okay, your first question, which I thought was gonna be a really good question, is, man, I don't wanna work at this place anymore. How do I get a better life and a job out of this? And I could answer that question, but then you threw all these assumptions in there. Like, I have to use AI to be relevant. You don't. Or it's unethical to use AI. It's not. So then I don't know how to answer your question now, because I don't believe 2/3 of it.
Okay, let's just stick to the first one then.
We'll ask it again.
So how do I move forward after 10 years onto creating a portfolio?
Okay, here's the thing. We have life insurance, we have auto insurance, we have fire insurance. We don't have job insurance. Wouldn't it be great if we had job insurance? Like when they let you go, because eventually they will.
In Canada, they do. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
What is it called? Rub it in my face. Wait until I describe to you what job insurance is. But so quick, these Canadians, like, screw you, America. Socialism. It works. Does it?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Another Canada. I'm from
Well,
the Soviet Union.
it doesn't work, yeah. Yeah. I always get to make that joke about the exchange rate as evidence. Now you don't like it when we turn the tables. Okay, anyways, let's get back to your question, okay? Job insurance. Job insurance looks something like this. Job insurance is the result of you doing consistent content over time, that you're turning down more offers for a job that you love. I love this job, please don't bother, please don't bother, please don't bother me. When you don't like that job, let's talk. Okay? That's job insurance. That the new job that you take will provide you with more money, better responsibilities, more aligned with who you are. But very few of us actually develop our own job insurance, not the Canadian kind. Okay? Does that make sense?
Correct.
Whoa! Easy there. Mark Busse.
Excel is not telling you the whole story.
What?
She's not. Here's the thing about her situation that probably everybody, a lot of people in the room.
Does she work for you?
No. Okay. She was a student of mine. She has social anxiety and she has a confidence problem. And what she really wants to ask you is, how can AI help me to put my best foot forward because I'm nervous that I'm not good enough? Just like the earlier question. And she's even being here tonight is causing her to quiver. That's what she's not telling you. Is there a role for AI in that?
I just want to address something first. I'm sure you outing her like that helped her out with her confidence and her social anxiety. I think I just saw her glass tremble when you said.
I told her I was doing it.
So it was permission-based outing. Okay. All right. So can AI help you with social anxiety? Is that?
Yeah.
That felt pretty genuine, authentic. Yeah. Okay. All right. What are you afraid of? What is making you nervous about being around folks? And I definitely identify with you right now. I promise you I do.
I guess I panic about saying the wrong thing, or, like, I don't know. I think that's the main thing, saying the wrong thing.
Okay, can I make one recommendation for you to read a book? Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. Nonviolent communication is a term he coined, I believe. And there's two parts of communication: how you speak to other people in nonviolent ways, and it can be summed up something like non-judging and non-presumptive of the conclusion. So no judgment and no conclusion jumping, okay? But the second part to this, which I think is more beautiful, is nonviolent listening. Is that no matter how violent the communication comes to you, you can strip out all the violent parts and just hear it for its core. That's not easy to do, but a worthwhile practice to do, okay? So when you say, I say the wrong thing, what you're doing is you're communicating violently with yourself, because there's a judgment attached. I just say things. I stay out of like, was it good, bad, meaningful, important, clever? I don't really care. Does that make sense? Whew, I just feel like you're about to melt right now. Are you okay?
I am.
Okay.
A little nervous.
Okay, that's fine. And I want to tell you this other thing, okay? I believe this to be true. I don't have evidence that it is. That when negative things enter our mind, the only way we can get rid of the negative energy is to speak it out. When we don't speak it out, it builds. It gets worse, okay? The fact that you would say, I'm nervous right now, takes away a little bit of the nervousness, okay? It does, right? You just speak your truth. Like, whatever it is, like, I'll give you an example in a second, okay? The opposite is also true. When you have something positive and you speak it, that energy goes down too. So when you have this tremendous joy or this plan to do something, don't tell people. Just do it. You okay with that?
Yeah, I decided to ask you a question and I was not gonna. So
What was that?
I decided to ask a question and I was not going to.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is a great,
Okay.
good step.
Yeah. Like if I smell bad right now, which I don't. I did shower before this. I would have said, guys, stay away from me. My body stinks. As soon as I say that, I'm cool. And if you want to get close to me, that's on you. Does that make sense? It's very liberating just to speak your truth. Second Blairean's quote today. You ready? If he were king of the world, he would say this: it must be a rule that you say what you think. My business coach told me that. He didn't use those exact words, but say what you think. Right? Say what you think.
Guys, can we give it up for Itzel? That's really brave of her. So amazing. And addressing the atmosphere, the elephant in the room. I don't know about you. Do you guys feel like an undertone of seriousness? It's kind of, yeah. Let's light things up, right? Okay, we're having a good time. By the way, feel free to sneak out in the back. There's like tons of food. So, and you know what? If you guys didn't have like the premium or VIP ticket, just go and get food. Okay. You guys need food. Maybe you're too serious. Okay.
Socialism here. It works. Okay. Temperature check in the room. Are we moving in the right direction? Is this the kind of dialogue you think is helpful? No? Pink shirt guy, what's the problem?
Chris, the last time I was with you, I learned a ton.
Oh my God.
So
I feel a violent statement. I feel a violent comment coming.
So I'm hoping to walk away with some of your knowledge.
What would be valuable?
Like branding. I'm thinking a lot about branding because I run my own business.
I'm prepared to talk about branding.
Let's talk about branding.
Hold on to that. We got you. Who was going to ask the question? Is this okay? You guys want to talk branding? You interested in that? Okay. What's that?
Branding in the age of AI.
Oh, you want? He's like, in the age of AI, makes it a little bit more complicated because we get stuck on the AI part. Yeah? If I teach you how to build your personal brand, you can determine what tools you want to use. It's almost like branding in the age of Adobe Illustrator. So if you don't use Adobe Illustrator, you're kind of screwed. But the principles are good. Okay, you're going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, thank you for joining us. And quick question is about the AI. I know from your work you're mainly focusing on the design side of the things, but I'm just wondering, in your process, do you also have prototyping?
What?
Prototyping, like an interaction design that you show the customer, this is how the page will be moving forward. And
Are you assuming I do that kind of work?
no, I'm just wondering whether you actually involved with any of the prototyping. The question would be, how do you see the AI changing the prototyping industry or interaction design?
Oh, okay, that's a much better question. Okay, all right. I think creative people, anybody's a creative person, we expect our potential clients to do the heavy lifting and imagining what we're thinking and talking about. And when you create unnecessary tension in the buy-sell cycle, you run the risk of them saying, I don't want to put in that kind of work right now. Does that make sense? Prototyping, as a generic broad term, is very helpful at not asking them to use their imagination. So if you do a storyboard before you shoot a piece of film, that's helpful. If you do a rough animatic before you do all the animation that's finished, that's very helpful. And every single person here has some version of that. If you're an architect and you build a physical model or a 3D model or a walkthrough, that's very helpful. So before we break ground, should we not agree that this is what we want to build? And so prototypes are very useful tools at closing the imagination gap. So as often as you can, try to ease the mental burden for your prospect. You will close more work. And you can charge a premium. Because in your process is baked in this prototyping phase. And if you can, add it to your process, communicate this, and tell people how you do what you do. It'll make onboarding clients much easier. Because somewhere out there is the client who says, I wish the person I worked with last time did this because we wound up with a mess. Okay? Creative people like to do this. They like to barely talk to the client, use abstract language, disappear in a cave, and eventually come back with a high fidelity finished product. And now there's a lot of stress from the buyer to say, that's not what I was hoping you would do. And now you feel really hurt. So I like to, in the prototyping stage, work fast and dirty. Can AI help you? 1000% yes.
Hi, Chris.
Is this branding? Is this about branding?
Well, it's more about your process in AI. How do you incorporate AI in your process?
You want a workflow?
It could be in your business or in your branding.
Okay. In my
I
business.
guess in branding because you're more interested in branding.
Okay, so we'll try to answer that through the lens of content creation and things like that. Is that okay?
Yes.
So I already talked to you guys a little bit about this before, right? That I prefer long-form content. That's what I like to make, okay? Because somebody recently asked me, do you like doing shorts? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't communicate that way. I like doing long-form content. I like to think about it. I want to tell a story. I want to make a persuasive argument to you so that you can be bought into the solution before I tell you the solution. That makes sense, right? So it's usually like 3 acts. First, like, you didn't know the problem, right? So I got to tell you what the problem is, so that if you have that problem, you'll want to invest more time figuring out what the solution is. And then I might tell you a story so that you can buy into it, like, yeah, cool, this is how we learn. And then I'll give you the tools, and that takes time to do. So this is what we would call like your master source content, right? I just need a good question to work with. So I get together with my team. The team could be literally one person. I'm like, hey, what's on your mind? What do you need to do, solve that you haven't been able to figure out? If you can articulate that clearly, succinctly, I can solve it for you most of the time, right? So I need a good question. So it begins with, what is a good problem to solve? Does that make sense? Problem. What is the problem? I need to know. That's why I'm super kind of anal crazy about it with you guys, because I just want to know what the problem is. And many people do not take the time to think through the problem. They just want weird answers to weird questions. So once I have the problem, and I like to work with other people, because my life doesn't seem that complicated, so I want to hear what your problem is.
Me?
No. In this context. It's rhetorical. I like how quick you're ready to respond. I love that. Excellent. She's a student, right? Wonderful. Okay. Based on that, I start searching my memory to like, how have I solved this problem in the past? What has worked? And where would this break? Once I have a sketch, okay, I'll tell that person, here's what I think, and we'll draw. And if they think it's good, I'm like, fantastic, that'll be our next video. So there's some kind of prototyping part in here. It's dirty and it's quick. And I can show you if there's a good problem that we can talk about, how I can do this in real time with you. It's actually, to me, very logical, easy. I'll show you, okay? So we prototype, great. If it's good, and I feel it's good, and they feel like it solves a problem, I'm gonna go make a piece of content out of that. Okay, now, that kind of content, especially today, needs to have both video and audio. Because if it has both, it's excellent because it can be repurposed for lots of different things. We know that if we can make a podcast out of it, we can make a YouTube video, we can make posts, and if we're able to extract the transcript, which is super easy to do, and there's this plugin for Chrome, I think it's also available for Safari, and it's free. It's called Glasp. Have you guys heard of Glasp? It basically turns any YouTube video, whether it's yours or not, into a transcript. Wow. So if you watch a cool video that was like an hour and a half and you're trying to find that part where they say X, Y, and Z, that's going to take you a long time to scrub through and find that thing again. But if you pull the raw transcript and you feed it to an LLM, you can ask it, what was the part that they said this? The best thing about AI, it's like hand grenades, you just got to get close. Even if you use the wrong phrase, it kind of knows. Okay, and then extract the exact part of the transcript and quote what was said, and then break it down for me in a framework I can understand. And then it will do that for you, okay? Now, I haven't done this yet. Actually, I have. I've used this process on our own content to make more content from that content, okay? One of our most popular videos has, I think, over 40 million views as a short, over 4 million as a long. And I thought it'd be funny, because my kids always make fun of me, that I'm a boomer. I'm not. I'm Gen X, guys. I'm not that old. That I said, take this transcript and translate it into Gen Z language. And I'm going to reproduce that video using Gen Z language. So I sent it to somebody a little bit younger, and he told me, send it to your son, my other son. And he corrected everything. He's like, we don't say that anymore, Dad. That's so like not working. And he rewrote the whole thing like flawlessly. So I think that would be pretty funny to have the boomer version and a Gen Z version of the same content. We can laugh at each other. So you can use that in your workflow. You all understand what I'm saying? As long as you have the idea and you prompt it, it will do it. Now, maybe it's not perfect, right? And I know they cringe every time I use Gen Z language, because I guess we're not allowed to, but I use it just to embarrass them. Okay? All right. So if you get the transcript, once you have the transcript to anything, you're in business now. You're in business. You can do anything with AI. You can actually create a robot out of that. You can create workbooks. Like I said, you can write summaries, cheat sheets. There's no limit to what you can create, just your own imagination. This is where I think the human needs to be here. You just have to figure that part out. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot. I've had the opportunity to interview really super smart, successful people. And I thought, what if I curated and picked the very best episodes that we've recorded with over 300 guests? Maybe I pick 20, and I create a brain trust robot. Experts on branding, marketing, sales, communication, negotiations. I put it into my own robot. Now I have a robot that understands from the very best minds from that episode, right? I can use this robot now to talk to it. I can give you access to it, or I can charge you money for it. It's just whatever you want to do. you can build. Right? And here's the cool thing. It's very meta. You can say, I don't know how to use this, but this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm trying to achieve. What could we do with this? It comes back to asking a really good question. If you can ask a good question, and you're using your higher mind, your higher self, I think you can come up with some really cool things.
One more. Can we use that framework for our own content? If ever we want
I don't
to?
own this.
So we can. I just want to make sure,
I love that you're so ethical and asking academic questions. In the real world, you do what you got to do. Right? In school, we have to worry about citation and ethics and whatever. Quick question: do I use ChatGPT? I use Claude. Claude is more of an abstract thinker, but then every day, like, what is Google's version? Gemini. Gemini sucks? You know what? I use all of them. Sometimes I use Grok. I'll just compare. It's like, you see my soul. This one's working. And then you know what? It's really funny. You can have the machines fight each other. You know that? You can literally say, this result was better from Claude. Can you improve? It's like putting your children against each other, and it will.
I just want to check the temperature in the room. Let's do a little thumbometer. If you're enjoying yourself and the topic, big thumbs. If you're kind of mediocre, good sideways, and then it's like, no, let's change the topic. Let's go. Thumbs up, thumbs around. All right, do you want to stick to branding? More branding questions?
Well, I could just tell you what I know about branding.
Yeah. Okay.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Should we? Okay, I'll lead you a little bit, okay? I generally don't like to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? There are two just main ideas you need to know about brand. I'm mostly interested in talking about personal brand. There's too many people talking about corporate brands, and you could read books on that, you could do that. I don't want to go where it's really noisy and crowded. But I found that recently, I guess in the last year or two, the topic of personal brand has become super hot. Am I the only one who feels that? Everywhere I go, it doesn't matter who you talk to, it's like personal brand. And I think the problem is, most people use the word personal brand when they mean something totally different, like marketing, sales, right? Conversions. I'm talking about the person in the personal brand, which is very different. I need to say that because everything else depends on like all of us understanding that thing. So there's two things. This is the title of a book, but I think it's freaking perfect. Number one, to build a strong personal brand, you have to have the courage to be disliked. Most of you will not get over this part. Okay? Probably culturally, it's tough, right? Canadian, Even for Americans, it's tough. Because we're afraid of being ostracized. There is safety in numbers, in the sense of belonging, that will subjugate our own personality, our own beliefs, just to feel safe within a group. Well, the problem is when you're in a group, you talk, walk, and do things that the group does. Well, that's a great way to disappear. So number two is you have to figure out how you're meaningfully different. If you can just work on these two things, you're going to be awesome. Now, this is a deeper rooted thing that you probably have to go see your therapist for, and just figure out why you have the need to be liked. Right? Why you need other people's approval. I can probably work on it with you one-on-one, but not in a crowd like this. Okay? So let's move on to point two. Everybody understand so far? Okay. Meaningfully different. Okay? My new friend Mike, who's up here, says, Chris, isn't everything we do signaling to other people, frequencies, vibrations, energy, about who we are in this life? I'm like, I think so. I really do. So this means how you carry yourself, your body language, your tone of voice, the words you use, the way you look, the hat you wear or don't wear. It's signaling to people all the time. What we don't understand is we're not intentional about that signal that we're broadcasting to people, and people are making lots of assumptions. Okay? I don't want to get into it too deeply, but if I stand here and I'm talking to each and every single person in this room has already made assumptions about me, even before I speak.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The only difference between me and some of you is I'm very intentional about it. I made certain decisions today and every day to make sure the signal and the receiver are in alignment. Okay? All right. How are you different? Now, the problem is everybody is doing what everyone else is doing. So That's a really horrible way to build a personal brand. If we want to be different, maybe we can make a list of what everyone's doing and then just say we're not allowed to do that. You just make a ban list. So if everyone in your space shows up in a 3-piece suit and a blue or red tie, like I'm not allowed to do that. I'll wear a red suit with a blue tie. You know, you just one change is enough for you to stand out. And if you're like, well, that's good, why don't I do 2 changes? But I would just start with the 1 change, okay? And you can do that. So Charlie Munger talks about this, he calls it inversion thinking, is where like, what if we wanted to achieve the exact opposite result, what would we do? And it will inform what we shouldn't do. Okay, so if you want to blend in or bland in, what would you have to do? That's the question, right? What would you have to do? Pardon me?
Same as everyone else.
Yeah, but let's make a list. Let's just make a quick list. We'll work on this together. You just shout it out. If we wanted to disappear in this room and not be noticed, what would we need to do to blend in?
Use ChatGPT.
No, in this room. In this room right now, being present to this moment. Stay silent. Who said that? That's how he just stood out right now. Before that, no one was paying attention. What else? Designers love black. That's true. Okay, that's good. But we're trying to blend in, so we're going to say what? Wear black.
Don't ask questions.
Stay silent, not ask questions. Stay silent. What else? Sit down. Okay, what else? What else? Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. I got 1 laugh. What?
Move to the back of the room.
Sit in the back. Proximity matters.
Agree to everything.
Agree to everything. Perfect.
Don't ask questions.
He already said that. Don't ask questions. What? Okay, pretty obvious. There are things that are much more obvious than this. You wear the uniform. What is the uniform? For some of you, it's a t-shirt, black pants, like, what do we call those, chinos? Basically, you just stepped out of a Gap catalog. Okay, what else? Okay, you understand? Okay, just think on that for a second. Now, literally or mentally just look around the room and see how many people are doing a really good job of blending in. Don't point, don't be rude, just, you know, yes. And it could be you. And in fact, it probably is you. So we're signaling things to people all the time, okay? I'm going to tell you a really quick story. My Brazilian friend is like 6'3". I've been trying to get him to have an identity in the things he wears. And he just won't do it. I'm like, God, and he's like, I can't pull it off. I just can't, Chris. It's always I can't, but I need your help. And every time I tell him to do something, he won't do it. He just won't. I'm like, I'm tired, man. I'm not doing this with you. So one day we go shopping together, and he actually buys something that makes him feel very uncomfortable, which surprised me. I assume his palate has expanded. So one day, we're going to a recording of the season finale for a TV show that I'm on. And of course, it's important for me and for him to look good and to play the part. I'm on the show. So he calls me and says, Chris, I'm not feeling this fit right now. I just said, come over. I'll help you figure it out with you. He shows up wearing the exact clothes that he bought, which I thought he liked. He didn't like them at all. He just did it because he was just tired of being stuck, which I commend him for. And then just quick little styling things, change this, let's move this around. And he goes, I still don't feel good. Don't worry, trust me, you look good. Okay? We arrive at the recording studio, we walk in there, we're a little early, so we go to craft services. This is what we do, we eat free food. Go to the back, and something really weird happened. I'm going straight for the tacos. Good tacos down there, okay? Go for the tacos. And as Drigo is walking his way towards the tacos, 2 people approach us. I'm assuming, oh, you want to talk to me? What do you want? They don't even talk to me. They walk right past me and talk to him. And I stand back and I'm like, what is going on right now? And they start asking him, are you a producer? Are you a talent? Are you judging the show? What's going on? Because he had a drip going on. He had his swag. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him like, what just happened? You just moved from being the hired help to somebody of note. You went from who are you to who are you? Big difference. Big, big difference. And all of a sudden, people are looking at him differently today. Because the signal he's sending out is matching his intention and it's being received properly. And I told him, it hurts me that people look right through you like you're the hired help. You are my friend and you're my collaborator and you help us build things. Act the part. And he has done that. And it's been really cool. So recently I was speaking at an event and somebody came up to me and says, Chris, before I met you, before I talked to you, before I even heard you speak, just by the way you present yourself, I knew you were somebody I needed to meet and talk to. You are a person of note. So again, all the things that you do communicate to the world something. The question is, what do you want it to communicate? And it's not just one thing, it's everything. It's the packaging of you. Okay, it's not just what's inside, it's on the outside as well. Okay? Now, I want to move to this part here. So you have to think about this. So you can just make a long ass list. What are the metrics or dimensions in which we all look at each other? Hair color, eyewear, jewelry, colors, textures, patterns, tone of voice. You just make a list. And then ask yourself, what is everyone in our space doing? I just need to pick one thing to do differently that is in alignment with who I am. Not to be wacky different, but to be in total harmony with myself. Does that make sense? Just one thing. And like I said, if you find that one thing and it's starting to work, do 2 things and 3 things. See how far it goes. Make sense? Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about the value of brand because some people are not really convinced they need to work on their brand, and that's okay. I'm not here to tell you, but I want to make a case for it for you to think about. I saw a post on social. It says, who wins? They have a better brand, you have a better product. Who wins? Brand? Product. Okay, who said product? I heard it over here. Okay, Sergey? Product. Tell me a product that beats the brand. I would like evidence.
Every product has a brand, but I mean, like, it could be a great product and people would...
Like what? Don't argue with me, just tell me the product.
Okay, let's compare clothes brand. You know, like, we can compare Nike and Represent. Nike is bigger and like they most known, like, let's say.
So they have a better product?
But I think Represent has a better product.
So are they winning?
Yes.
Represent is winning against Nike? What? Where are you getting your numbers from? Huh? Yeah, he's never even heard of it. Okay? And you know how Represent grew their business? Because they built a brand. Products are identical. Okay, this is where you all just stab yourselves in your argument. Who's going to say better product? Talk to me. Okay, Clark. Can we give Clark the mic, please? He's right here. Clark, raise your hand. He's the guy who's like sunburned. I know that because I went fishing with him.
I think most startups, when they start out, win on products because they don't have a brand. So when you even look at ChatGPT, when ChatGPT first started out, nobody knew what ChatGPT was, but it took off like wildfire because they had an awesome product. And so then I think the product then leads into the brand.
I can concede to that. When the market's zero and you're the first one, you win. Okay, but in a mature market, like most people only have heard of ChatGPT, when Claude is, in my opinion, much better at creative writing. So again, the brand beats the product all day long. Now, while you ponder this, I want to tell you a little story, and I think it'll make it really clear, okay? I started a media channel with my former business partner, Jose. Some of you guys are OG, you know who I'm talking about. Before we went into business together, we had a prenup. I said, if this doesn't work, I want to make sure I get these things, and we agreed. Do you know what I asked him for in this agreement? I asked him for the community. I want the YouTube channel. You keep your IP, I keep my IP, but I want the channel. And he, for whatever reason, agreed. Fast forward 2.5 years later, things aren't working out. We got to break up. He goes, how do we divide the assets? He said, well, it's pretty clear. We had a prenup. We had a prenup. Okay? But I remember what my dad told me because my younger brother and I, we would fight all the time. My dad would say, you're the older brother. You cut the cookie. The other person decides which half they get. So it forced you, like, really to a micrometer, get that thing right in half. because otherwise you can get the small cookie. Okay? So I'm like, okay, I want to be more gracious in this split up. I could take what I'm due, but I will chop this company into 2 parts. I'm going to tell the story, and I want you to think as if you were Jose, which half you would pick and why. And it'll probably help you understand the answer to this question. Everybody following along so far? Okay. So what I did was all the revenue we've made in the last 2.5 years, I give it to you. The brand name, I give it to you. The product that we developed together, I give it to you. All the revenue that comes from that product, I give to you. I just want the channel. Which one do you pick? And I want you to think about that, okay? I give you the revenue, all the money we've ever made. I give you the product, the IP, the brand name. I just want the community. And he said, I don't want to decide. I'm like, you have to. This is how this works. And he decided. Now, what would you decide? And let's have an argument about this. Okay, Clark, what would you decide? Okay, he's been drinking too, so it's cool. Okay, that's totally cool. And just keep in mind, back in those days when we split up, I don't think we even had 100,000 followers. You know? You remember? Dang, dude.
No, it was actually less than 50,000.
How much was it? We got Rain Man in the crowd. Definitely 48,000. Definitely. I love this. Okay, this is awesome. For context, we're at 2.7 million followers on YouTube. So at 50,000, I was willing to throw away everything just to keep the YouTube channel. I didn't care about the Facebook page. I didn't care about. I just want the YouTube channel.
What did the channel mean to you?
Well, I'm asking you the questions here. Which would you pick and why? And we'll have. And once you understand this, then you'll understand the frame of this question. Okay?
You will choose.
What would you choose? Not me. We know what I chose. Clearly, we know what I chose.
Dude, so you will be able to create more creative stuff, and you're going to be just.
You.
Okay, I'm a creative dude, and I will be able to create more creative stuff, and then I will be able to take it to the next level.
So you're saying. What's your name again?
Matt.
Matt is saying, better brand. Okay. So whoever wants to say product, answer that. Wait, hold on. No, I did not give the brand. Well, this is excellent. This is excellent. What is a brand? Is it the name? Is it the person? Well, I can never lose me. I mean, I could lose me.
Marty Newmeyer says it's a gut feeling about product, service, or organization.
Right, but let's put it into the context in which you understand. So I love this example because it really gets to examine what is a brand. What the hell are you building? And when you understand this, maybe Pink Shirt Guy would say that was valuable. I'm working for his value. Okay, you understand?
You're backing yourself in.
Pardon me?
You're backing yourself in.
Me?
Whoever does what you're talking about.
Don't warn them about what's about to happen, Jason. There are 2 possible answers. Jason, you answer. Give him the mic. Give him the mic, Matt. He's going to back himself in. Jason, what would you pick?
I would pick, and I know you and I have zero idea what the hell you did. I'm tipping you picked the channel, right? You have backed yourself in with everything that you've done in the past, and you can recreate that, you can do that, and you know how good you are. So you've backed yourself in 100%. You can rebuild a brand that has existed, or you can start all over again. So you will back yourself in 100%.
All right, what are we doing here? What did you pick? Jason, would pick what?
I would pick to give majority of the shit away and start it again because I know the formula and I can do it again.
Okay, so you pick nothing. Do not take negotiation advice from this guy. I'm like, will you pick this or that? He goes, none of it. None. Oh, you. Huh?
Nothing is nothing. You would be quite strategic in what you take, but...
Well, can you just answer the question? It's A or B, friend.
Fuck, man, I don't know. Come on.
Can somebody take the mic away from him?
Take the mic away.
God dang it. What a tough crowd. A or B? Z.
Thinking about this, Chris, what I would do is I would take the brand because without the brand, the product would die.
Think about that. Without the brand, the product would die. How do you know this?
Because I'm running a company and I know that the branding is very important.
Well, cite an example. Like, let's take it back to this YouTube thing, okay? Yeah. I think it's worthwhile to have a deep conversation about this. I think it'll crack some of your heads open because I fight people on this all day long. And then when I came up on this example, I'm like, I'm going to end you. This will end the conversation, I hope. We'll see what happens. I haven't done this with a group yet, okay? I just need you guys to say A or B and tell me why. Okay, head over to Ilya. Ilya, take the mic. What would you pick?
I just want to understand, you said IP is related to brand, in my opinion.
I didn't say that.
Okay, sorry. I assume that IP is related to brand and brand name is related to brand. So when the difference between like, would you choose the channel or the product revenue IP name?
You would choose this.
I would choose that because to me, that feels like the brand, the IP, the ability to monetize it, all of that stuff, and the history of it.
Yeah, right.
That's what I would choose.
So am I an idiot? You can say it.
Are you an idiot? Is that the question?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Are you an idiot? No.
What do you think?
I don't think so.
Why would it give away all this stuff? And you know what? I actually had Dead to Rights some of this, but I wanted to chop the cookie.
You can create as many products as you want.
Well, hand on the mic. And I'll give you data to back this up. Now, remember, this is one person's experience in life, and it's not maybe a universal truth, but I think there's something to unpack here. Somebody else tell me, just simply, Canadians, A or B and why, and just don't get too complicated with the answer.
I would say A, because you have the community, and the community will follow you with whatever you do.
Okay.
Provided that you tether to their needs.
What's another word for community? I have what?
Brand?
Huh?
Yeah, customer.
Well, he has access to the customer database. Okay, what am I really taking? 2.5 years of my life went into building this thing. I spent a ton of money and resources building this channel. Why would I take almost nothing?
Maybe product is the
Hand on the mic, Max.
Maybe product is the car and channel is the fuel. So basically, without fuel, car will just stall.
Okay, you ran out of gas on that comment. It started real strong. Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you the answer in a second. Matt, you already had your opportunity, man.
I think you have two things, loyalty and trust.
Okay. Would you guys agree? The channel has loyalty and trust. Yes? Okay, this is excellent, okay? Because I don't even know what you're going to say. Loyalty and trust. Is that a brand? Okay, check this out. We want to test it against did you say, Ilya, about the brand name? The name is valuable?
brand name and IP. Yeah.
Okay, just one. We'll just take one at a time. Is loyalty and trust wrapped in the name? Think about it. Everybody, first rule, think about your answer before you open your mouth.
I would choose the channel because it's the megaphone. Basically, you still have the right to speak. People are listening to you.
Damn, Asian brother bringing the heat. Damn, bro. And you got the Hey shirt on and everything. Luckily, I didn't wear the same shirt today. Okay, in the back, please.
I choose the
Oh my God, what did I say? Think about what you're gonna say.
community, because that's your ideal client. So they
were not even clients. It's a YouTube channel. They give you no money.
If you think about branding, they're following you because they're loyal to you, they like how you speak, they understand you, and they're gonna follow you wherever you go.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a little bit more information now. Okay? I want you to lock in your mind, because at that moment in time, we don't get to look into the future. And we had to make a decision. I literally said this to him, and I knew in my mind he was gonna pick one versus the other. But I gave him the opportunity to pick what I thought was more valuable. Because I'm not in the business of cheating former partners. I said you could pick either one. I chopped the cookie. I moved everything on this side and only kept one thing on this side. Because I think I knew something then. And I'll share with you what has happened since, okay? Some information, okay? So we tell the people on our YouTube channel, we're splitting up. And they were not happy about that. They wanted mom and dad to continue to make content together. And I said, it's not gonna happen. If you wanna stay here, stay here. If you don't, cool. Jose has started another channel, you can go over there. It's testing something. There's another word here between loyalty and trust. It's called relationship. I want to be able to have the relationship to talk to them. Relationship is brand. Okay? Just think about that. It's not everything else you think it is. Who has a relationship and where's the relationship locked in? Now you could say a tower or a car, maybe that's where the relationship is, but this is a personality channel. The relationship is in the people, not in the things that we say or do. Now, Jason, in his infinite wisdom, is like, I know how the S is done, I'll just do it again. He tried. It's freaking hard. Now, if some of you you lose access to your account, you all come crying to me. How do I unlock this? Somebody snaked my account. You know how difficult it is to build it again. And every day it becomes more difficult. Why? We live in the age of AI. See how I worked that in there? Okay, right? So he had the product, and for a long time, all I was doing was sending Jose checks because I have no product, zero product, you know? And I thought he would be grateful and send me a nice Christmas card and say, thank you, Chris. I do no work and I just collect checks from you. Now here's where it gets real interesting. I launched my first product. It's called Typography 1. And when we launched it, I was really worried. This is the first test where we can actually make money from this community and the relationship that we have. So when we launched, we did $100,000 in sales for a product that I think was $29 or $39. That's a lot of sales, okay? It's the relationship. And to date, that silly little typography course has done over $1 million in revenue, okay? As we move on, the channel becomes stronger, and it gives me opportunities that this doesn't. So he kept the name of the school. I rebranded by calling it The Future. They didn't care. But I was speaking to them because I had the audience and the megaphone and the stage, and that's really important. He's like, you can still use the name. I don't want to use your name. I'm going to develop my own products. Now, here's the thing. Here's how you know. Okay, is it easier for this person to launch a brand, or is it easier for this person to sell products and launch products? Now you know what is more valuable. And I'm going to land the plane there. Jason, go ahead. You want to say something?
My point about saying you would back yourself in is because you knew you could back yourself in to build that community, take that community, and you mentioned no one knows anything. No, actually, no one knows anything. There is no guarantees in anything in life, business or whatever. But you trusted yourself enough to take that road and do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So you did it, and I would have taken that same path.
No, you picked none.
No. I picked none. I've picked that side too many times.
Yeah, he says that after I give all the evidence.
Yeah.
Correct, Jason. Yes. So here's the thing now, which I think gets to Jason's next point. So I'm creeping up on 1 million followers on Instagram. I'd be pretty devastated if my account got hacked and I lost access to it, because I don't want to start from zero. That sucks. But here's the good news. I don't know where that line is, but when you build your personal brand to a point, it can survive a losing of account. And I can say, hey guys, my account got hacked. It's game over. I'm over here now. Everybody who's a real fan would just follow immediately because it's in the relationship and the loyalty and the trust you've built. But getting that megaphone is really important, especially in the very beginning, because there are riches in the reaches. Whoever can reach more people has power. Okay? You see all these influencer kids who are doing billion-dollar deals now? Because they have the reach. This is why I think brand is really important and why there's value in the brand. And it's not the way it looks. It's not even the name. It's who controls the relationship. Okay? Sadly, my friend has tried to create multiple times. It's not taken off. That's not to say that if he had taken this option, it would have worked. Because maybe my extreme focus on building that relationship with the audience is the thing that you want to do. I didn't care about making money. That was not the objective. It was about building relationships. So when you sit there and think, oh, help us with our personal brand, how to convert more customers? Wrong question. Chris, how do I grow my audience? How do I focus in on target market? Wrong question. That's marketing. That's sales. That's building funnels. That's important, but it's not what I want to talk about. So this is what people do. They use a term like this because it's sexy, and they tell you a whole bunch of BS. Brand strategy. Right? I don't believe in any of that stuff. Does this make sense so far? You did that really angrily.
Hold on, guys. Chris, just quick time check. We got less than 15 minutes. We can land the plane.
We can land planes. Okay. It was a joke, friend. I said they give you all this BS. Brand strategy. It's a lie. They don't know what they're talking about. We're very wary of people who try to teach you how to build a personal brand when they don't have one. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. You know how many DMs I get? Chris, bro, we can help you do reach and grow your audience and get mad. You have 4 followers. Is this theory? What are we doing here? And I'll ask them. Oh, no, we do it for other accounts I can't tell you about. Yeah, sure. I don't want that. Okay. Who's next?
Can I add something?
Of course.
It was actually a very great point. You can never trust someone to build your personal brand if the person doesn't have one. I even made a post about this. I would never trust my skin to someone who has a very bad skin, like a cosmetologist or whoever it is. And it definitely works in any industry, in any field. If you are having a producer who simply doesn't know how to produce, you're not going to have the outcome or the result, right? So thank you. Yeah, that was a very good point.
I would just modify that just slightly. I don't want to say never, just be wary. Be wary, because there are people who are really smart, who have figured things out, and they don't need to do that. They're called teachers, right? I think it's a bunch of BS, like those who can't do teach. I'm like, no. There are a lot of coaches who take teams to championship games who themselves were not champions. So there's exceptions to this thing. Just general rule of thumb, be wary of overweight physical trainers, right? Just like don't trust a dermatologist who has horrible skin. Clearly it's not working, clearly. But it's not a hard rule, just be wary. Okay, go ahead.
What are the best ways to build a relationship in terms of a personal brand with content creation?
What's the best way to build a relationship?
Yeah, like, can you give us a guide?
Yeah.
Playbook?
Do you have friends?
Yes.
How do you build relationships with people in real life?
Spend time with them.
Okay.
Say hello. Check in on them.
Not a great friendship so far. Keep going. I mean, for real, right? I say hello. I'll spend some time with you. What do you do? Think about this, everybody. Really think about this, because what we do is, I'll give you a little secret how you can solve almost all of your problems. When you ask your question, try to map it to how you do everything else. And find the one example where that seems to be true, and then abstractly see if that fits the other thing. So how do you build a personal brand with real relationships? Well, in real relationships, what do? Think about it. Your closest friends, the ones that you know have got your back, what do? Give me one thing. Okay, you want to pass the mic? He's stuck. Okay, I like that. Just say I'm stuck. It's cool.
You do things for them, like you find out what problems they're struggling with and you help them find solutions.
Okay. You're being really helpful, thoughtful. Did you want to say something or you got it? That's pretty much it. Oh, he snaked you. God dang it.
Common ground.
Common ground? Okay.
Hi. Quick one. So in a world that's always choosing virality over authenticity.
See, that's a premise I don't believe. Remember? In a world where we all value virality. I don't value virality. I can't even say it.
Let's say social media platforms we use, or whatever platforms we use. In that space that chooses virality at every time, how do we remain authentic while standing out? And I know you.
Okay, I got your question. First of all, I don't agree with what you said. I only have to find one example where that's not true, and it's not true for me. I'll share with you a conversation I had with my podcast producer. A little clip has been released online somewhere. So if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm going to say. My producer says, pretend we've never worked together. What is it that matters to you, and what measurement is it that's going to determine if it's a successful podcast, right? I said, self-expression. He goes, what? I don't care about watch time. I don't care about duration. I don't care about downloads. I care that I'm able to express my truest self. And that messed him up, because I'm sure he's asked this question many times, and I'm almost certain no one has ever said that to him. I said, I don't need to make money. What is important to me is to express myself in the truest possible way. This is my art. If people show up, fantastic. If they don't, fantastic. It doesn't matter to me. But the weird thing is, the more I show up as myself, the more people show up for that. Because we live in a place, in a time, when everyone's wants to blend in. They do not have the courage to be disliked, to be unpopular, and to say something and speak their mind clearly. They're afraid to do that. I don't know how else to be but to do that. Okay? It's important to me for me to practice my form of art. And it's an invitation to anyone who wants to participate with me to look at the world from a different perspective. That's why I make content. Now, I don't want to be stupid about this. I don't want to have scratchy audio. I don't want to have a bad cut. So those are technical things. I don't want to title in a way that makes it very difficult to find. I also don't want to just drop the content and hope people find it, so I have to do some work to help people find it. So those who are seeking an answer, or this version of me, I want to make it very easy for them to find it. Art is better, in my opinion, when it's appreciated by people. So you can make art and put it in a garage and never show anybody. It's for you, self-expression works. But it's great when it can be shared, and if you can move people in your expression of art, I think that's a noble pursuit. Okay? Now, everyone else who's chasing virality or blowing up their brand, I believe they're doing it for a different reason than what I want to do it for. Okay? And when you start to chase the algorithm, you start to lose yourself. Okay? All I've ever done on social, once I figured this game out, is try to be the meest me I can be. And just think about that. So what is the answer to being a powerful personal brand? Be yourself. Hard to do, easy to understand. Okay? I'm trying to make a mindful practice to strip away everything I think is me pretending to be someone else. And it's a lifelong pursuit. So I usually say, you guys let your freak flags fly, but you won't do it. That's why people are not connecting to you. Does that make sense? That's why. It's just basically like that. Every time you show up as someone else, you build a wall between you and the audience you so desire to work with. Just get real. And we can see this. When we see a person's post and they're sharing some kind of traumatic, real, authentic thing, there's a whiff of it being contrived or manipulative. Yeah? And it's hard to say, but my radar for that is really good. And I can see right through that post. Okay.
Chris, one more.
Where? Okay, yes.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for tonight. My question is, how do you navigate the tension between having a personal brand but also connecting with the collective? So identifying whether it's with a cultural ethnicity, whether it's a location like Vancouver, your family of origin, even a design community. Because I guess the concern could be, if, particularly for the next generation, if they're going after a personal brand, trying to be different all the time, that can be very exhausting. But there's a beauty to being amongst the collective, even as a human race.
That was a super complicated question. Can you reduce it down?
Well, how do you navigate the tension of
using different words?
Being different, whilst also being common.
Those are conflicting ideas. Let's write them on the board, okay? What is your name?
James.
James? He's like, how do I be different and common? That's the words he used, I believe. Right? Did I hear that correctly, James?
Yeah.
He said common. I don't want to be common. I want to be uncommon.
Well, in the sense of common being the collective, I think was my...
Okay, the collective. There's another word. I like that. How can I be different while wanting to be part of the collective? You watch Star Trek? You like the Borg?
I don't watch Star Trek. Sorry, mate.
Well, that's too bad. I don't judge you. The Borg's like, you will be assimilated. You don't even have a name. You're just 4 of 45. You want to be part of a collective? Because they are a collective. There's one hive mind. I don't know how to resolve this conflict. The weird thing is, okay, here's the thing. You're like, well, it's tiring being different all the time. If you're trying to be something that you're not, it is very difficult. It's very tiring. The way that you're different is to just be more you. Okay? It's a weird concept to understand. I know.
But like for the example that you gave, for example, your friend who put on the clothes, right? Yes. Was that, I'm curious, was that tiring for him? Like if he keeps doing that I mean, maybe there was a starting point for him. That's like, oh, this is something different because my friend's encouraging me. But was that, if he keeps trying to be something different in that, right, is that exhausting?
You'll have to ask him. It's expensive though. I do know that. Okay? All right, we can talk about styling in a second, okay? But
well, I guess my main question really is, I think there's beauty in the collective, in the sense of whether us as humans, if there's a tragedy or a catastrophe, there's something that brings humanity together. So we feel that we're one. Yeah. So I guess I'm asking about that navigation of that tension. And how do you do it well?
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to understand the question because I don't feel by being me there's any tension at all. Okay. So I'm not sure where we're feeling the tension. I'll just tell you quick. Josh, where are we? Yeah. Can I have a few more minutes or no? Yeah. Okay. All right. Here goes. Okay. When I first made content on YouTube, I would wear a suit and a tie because I like wearing suits and ties. But I did that also because I needed to be more different than Jose. Jose is like a hippie, doing mushrooms and smoking pot. So he went to Venice and bought a sombrero or whatever he bought, a poncho, and he just would wear that. He was unshaven. I was clean shaven. He was a little loose. I was really tight because we wanted to be the odd couple. No one wants to watch two people be the same. So what we said is, who are you going to show up as and who will I show up as? And so this is what I do. We're designing our characters on TV. That's a reflection of our real lives and our personalities. And over time, I started getting weirder and crazier. And somebody had said, Chris, you've really changed. Like if you watch that first video from 10, 11 years ago and now you see me, it is very different. And my response to them, I've not changed at all. I've just revealed more of myself to you. Because the person who showed them on day one was scared. Okay? You follow? I don't care what you think. You know, I'll tell you right now. I know some people are like, you're wearing those diaper pants, aren't you? Oh, MC Hammer's in fashion again? I don't give an F what you think. And I'm being real with you. And you know what's funny? There's a lot of bros who are like, yo, why is he wearing a dress? And I'm like, why do you care? Are you interested? Why do you care what I wear? And you know the same bros 2 or 3 years later, they're wearing the same thing. And you know why? They would say to me in private, I didn't think you could do it, but you've shown me I can do it. So with my friend Drigo, it's not that that's not him, he's scared. And I have deep empathy for people who are struggling, right? Maybe not great patience, but I do have empathy. Like, we're not there. He hasn't found himself to be brave enough to show up as himself. And that's the difference. Carlos?
Chris, no context. What was the moment that needed to have happened for you to accept that you're not for everyone and you're okay with it?
I think I've been that way for some time. And I think it's when I found myself. And I think it's right around when I'm 19, 20 years old. Prior to that, I'm a hot mess. I don't know what I'm doing. I just would like your approval on everything, okay? But then I find this thing called graphic design. And even though I don't have sophisticated taste or skills, when I do something in class, it seems to be better than what everyone else is doing. And my teachers tell me that. So after a certain time, I actually believe that myself. And then I get into Art Center, and I meet a whole bunch of crazy graphic designers who are, in theory, the best in the world who come to this school, okay? And for a time, I'm like, are they really better? What I did was I just put my nose to the grindstone and just worked on the skills. That's the thing we talk about over here. It's hard, it's worth doing. So when my professor would say, hey, do 10 layouts, I'd do 20. He said, do 5 revisions, I'd do 10. And no matter what he said to me, I just took it in stride and tried my best to improve next week. You know how most people respond to feedback? They fight. They don't listen. They get super emotional. And I looked at it like in my cold robotic brain at that point, like, that seems inefficient. Why would you pay for someone to teach you something and then fight them the entire time? In fact, why aren't you paying attention when the crit is not yours? Are you that self-centered? And the truth is, they were. Not my work, not my problem. So when they learned 1 at a time, I learned 13 at a time because there were 13 students. So when you start to have a skill, you can build your identity on a skill. And I think for me, that's where I would begin. And so after a while, my classmates in the same class would ask me for help. And I thought to myself, aren't we in the same class? And so for a long time, I built my identity as a graphic designer. I don't think I'm a graphic designer anymore. That's why I say I'm a recovering graphic designer. I was bit with the disease. I still carry some symptoms, but I think I've moved on. But it's a great foundation to build something, right? So when you know yourself, you accept yourself, and you think you're doing something good, for some of you, it's like playing the piano. For some of you, you can sing or tell jokes or dance or do something. Or you have a keen eye for arrangement of flowers or interiors, or you know how to paint colors in a way that no one else knows how to. That's your identity. If you believe you put in the time and the skills, you can build a confident structure on that. And then you could blossom from there. So strong roots, maybe different fruit, it doesn't matter. But I would say that's where it would happen. So right around 19-ish, maybe typography class, 3rd semester, somewhere in there, I think I know how to do something. Okay? And for some of you, you're an amazing cook. Or you can knit like nobody's business. But what we say to ourselves, well, that's not normal. Normal people don't do that. So I can't build my identity around it. And we're chasing what they think is the normal thing, which is, oh, I have this kind of salary, I drive this kind of car, I'm married to this kind of person, I have this kind of life, 2.5 kids, I got job insurance, whatever. So we're chasing that standard. We're done. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay, we're done.
All right, guys, show some love to Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you all for participating. You made this event really amazing.